up, everybody? Welcome back to Offsides. Pete, James was good. How y'all feeling, brothers? Pete, how you doing today, man? You look relaxed.
Good, good.
Jimmy, what up, baby?
I chilling, man. You already know.
Yeah, yeah. Yo, crazy week, crazy week. When I say that, I'm talking about fantasy too. Some people did lose and they're not happy. I know I lost in one league, and I was like, damn, man, if I would have known. But that's what happened when you driving and you trying to set your lineup while you driving from Florida to New York. I mean to Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Thursday night game, we had the Rams at 49ers. Uh Rams won. I picked Rams to win on my other thing. I don't know. 49ers to me are done now, bro. I mean, there's no what you gonna do with that? Rams
Yeah,
are scary. You Pete, didn't you say the Rams are like a sleeper team?
he
I picked the
did.
Rams to win
Yep.
the division.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they came back, man. They came back. I mean, it was a how you call that? It wasn't a full blown. I don't think they threw touchdowns. It was just all field goals, but still,
Yeah,
a win's a win. You know,
Hmm.
win's a win. Um, Sunday, we could talk about that later. Mahomes getting hurt, how that looking for them. Bengals beat the Titans 37-27. Burrow had 3 touchdowns. I think they're a sleeper team, man. I think if they can sneak into the postseason, it could be scary for some people. That defense is suspect, though.
very. They got two teams ahead of them right now. So
Hmm.
don't know if that's a lot to
Yeah.
ask for.
They got to win out. They got to win out, and they got to hope for some losses. So we'll see. Um, Bills and Lions, bro. I think that was game of the week there.
Yeah,
Yo, Goff put up 5 touchdowns and 400 plus yards with 0 picks. The first NFL player in history to do that and lose the game.
that's crazy.
So we're gonna talk about it after we recap these joints. But I don't know, man. It makes you feel like going up against Josh Allen if he's on his game, bro. It's like no matter what you do, you ain't gonna beat him. Like you could put up 1,000 points, he's gonna put 1,001 up. Like it's crazy.
He's
Um,
like
Yeah,
he's like Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl, yo. It's
yeah. Halfback
insane,
sweep,
bro.
baby.
Insane, insane. Well, let's get to it, man. So look, let's talk about this real quick. Steelers Eagles played. Steelers without Pickens. You know, I said they're a strong team with the defense and their offense was playing good. They don't give the ball away like that. They go up against the Eagles that I think are a better team on paper. You do tailor the tape between quarterback to running back to wide receivers. Uh, and Jimmy, you was talking about it earlier. They like Saquon's making them change the game.
Hmm.
This time they didn't run the ball like that. They threw the ball.
Hmm.
So I'm a Pete. That's your division. June's not here. What's your take on the Eagles right now?
like you said, they're the best team on paper. Like they're stacked. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And that's always been my issue with like their head coach is like, they're like, yeah, his winning percentage is great. Yeah, but his team is ridiculous. Of course you're gonna
Hmm.
win. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I just don't see the special in the coach. The special in the roster, yeah, but in the coach, I don't see it. So it's not I'm not surprised that they're winning. You know what I mean? The tough games against the Steelers, against the Ravens, look, they won. They're legitimate, one of the top tier teams in the league. And like you said, they went away from it. That offense is so stacked. Everybody's not going to live in a game unless it's a shootout.
Mhm.
And you're not going to have a shootout with them because they got a good defense. So you saw how AJ Brown and Smith they lived. They both had 100 yards in the touchdown. Saquon, like you said, I heard he went to medical team. I didn't even know if he didn't get his numbers because he didn't play because he was hurt, but he didn't get his numbers because he didn't get a lot of carries. So
Hmm.
because they were passing the ball, and of course you're not going to get a lot of offense because the defense is good. So I'm not really surprised that they won. But again, this is all getting ready for the playoffs. Number one seed is in sight because these guys lost. But it's crazy because I think because it was a non-conference game, it doesn't affect the tiebreakers. That's crazy. They have the same record, but the Lions still have the same. They still have the number one seed right now. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks, but Minnesota's sneaking into the picture too. So
Saquon
Hmm.
didn't play the first after he got hit. So he got tackled by Minka. I think he went down awkwardly, and They had him out for like the rest of the first half.
Mm.
They brought him back in the second half, but he, the you're not gonna run on the. Well, I mean, you can, but the Steelers defense, they're gonna take that away from you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They forced old boy to throw, but he cooked them up. Um, your I'm gonna go with you, Jimmy, to the Steelers side. Is your division? They run in the division right now pretty much.
Yeah.
You guys got a good chance of hurting them this weekend if you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take? I think the Steelers are good, but what happens is without Pickens in the lineup, they look very mediocre.
Yeah.
What's your take on the Steelers in this game? Like the challenges they felt going in the fact that they could get win the division and go to the playoffs. What's your take on them now? You know what I'm saying?
Um, I don't think we started the season off talking about the Steelers being a contender. We never did. I think what we saw in the last few weeks made us start looking like, okay, so to with all due respect to them, we never looked at them like that. So wherever they pan out at, if they do great finishing out, it's just a bonus for them because it wasn't an expectation. So I think Tomlin, last minute, he saw some stuff that he knew he could throw together and make a good run. But I think they're just an average team that when coach right and when the right pieces are aligned, they can be great, but that wasn't our expectation. Like when we started the season, we said, "Hey, Ravens is the best." Matter of fact, week 4 or 5, we said, "Hey, bro, Ravens like the best team in football." They lose a couple easy ones, um, and now the division is shaking up. But yeah, I don't think it hurts them at all losing to the Eagles because guess what? The Eagles are if you want to lose to somebody, hey, lose to the best team in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna see come playoff time. That's where it matters. That's where it matters in game planning. Like we said, even with Saquon in the backfield, you got. I think it is worse or better for a team when you can affect the game without even touching a rock. Like Saquon being lined up in the backfield makes you change your game plan. It makes you certain players make you shift. And we know the Steelers got a great rush defense, but when your focus or when your game plan is to stop the run, and it's still no run there to stop now because Saquon is out. Now you're thrown like, oh shit. And guess what? Jalen, he did okay. I don't like the comment that he made. Like, is that what y'all came to see and all that? Like, bro, humble
Yo,
yourself. Humble your fucking self,
that
my
was kind
man.
of corny, yo. Like, yo, your man started this whole shit, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was corny as fuck.
So I think the Steelers are comfortable in the AFC. But if you go up against some of the teams like the Eagles again in the playoffs, if you got to see them,
Mm-hmm.
even the Lions on a good day, and hell, the Vikings got offense too. Can you survive it? And I was telling
Mm-hmm.
Bree this on the play call that she thinks I'm a hater of the team. I'm not a hater, but what it is I'm trying to point out the deficiencies. We got a podcast. We got to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I critique the Ravens when they lose to regular ass teams.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I think Pete is very, very good at pointing out certain things with teams when it comes down to let's break it down. The Eagles to me are shaping up at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is number one at the right time. They're showing that hey, you can take Saquon out the picture. I'm still going to throw the ball, right? And I can still do it that way. But like Pete said, it's a roster that's stacked. You got two wide receivers, one's at your 1 and 2 position. You could be a mediocre at the third. Nobody's really even paying attention to you. Their tight end showed up even when Goddard's out. You got Saquon, and then I think Gainwell is the other one that
Mhm.
they got, and he scored a touchdown.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So the one thing I say about Saquon, though, and I told June this, I feel like sometimes when the team is struggling in some of the games we've seen, once Saquon breaks out for that like 20-yard run, the team wakes up. On the Steelers side of the house, I think their offense is very limited. So
Mm-hmm.
if you look, the defense and special teams showed up. They got a fumble, right? When they went to punt, the special teams got the fumble back for them on the other side of the field, and you couldn't punch it in for a touchdown. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's because the offense is so self-centered around Pickens, like you don't incorporate nobody else. So now Austin's there. You brought Mike Williams over. I think he's a good deep threat. You know, Russell Wilson made his money with the deep ball. you're not going deep with him. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Like you're not hitting it downfield. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I had to say that because I caught myself. But you know, I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. I think for me in the AFC, the Steelers could probably get by one or two teams.
Oh yeah.
I think when you go, if they get to the Super Bowl and play against like a person like the Eagles, the Vikings, or the hell the Rams, if the Rams make it, it'll give them a problem because yo, you got Puka and Cooper Cup out there. Even though
Yeah.
Cooper Cup ain't do shit for me this week and cost me some championship games, but got 0 points. I should have put his ass on the bench. But anyways, that's neither here or there. Um, that's my take on it. Bills and Lions, like you said, it didn't affect the Lions. Uh, James, I feel like the Bills could be consistent, but then sometimes they're like inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
they lost they lost last week to the Rams, right? It was something like that.
Yep.
Yep.
Because they gave up so many points up front. Now, let's be fair. The Lions are like you said. Who said it in our chat? They like double digits in injured reserves. Like they're double digits and players gone. So honestly, they're like a hobble team that if you get the right powerhouse could beat them. What's your take on the Bills right now?
We can only go by what we've seen in the past, right? Until you show me something different postseason. This is the typical Bills team. They look good. They got spurts where Josh Allen looked like a fucking MVP, and then we get playoff time, and I don't know if they cursed or what, but I think they got to find a way, like you said, to be consistent. Winning a game is winning a game, but throwing together a string of consistent wins, impressive wins, it builds your momentum for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be impressed with them because we see it too much. Just like I can't be impressed with the Ravens, and we'll talk about that later. But I can't be impressed because it's the typical Bills team. They look good regular season. They look good, like they got a playoff MVP caliber quarterback. And then guess what? You get to the playoffs and we talking the same shit next year. Like, hey, next year Buffalo might be great. Nah, how many times we gonna say it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're right. But I think that their weak point is that they don't have the defense is suspect a little bit, and they don't have a receiving core like that. I think
So
that's
when you look at that, and we talk about playoff football, we can't talk about playoff football without your defense being strong and with
unless your offense is your defense.
exactly. Unless
And
unless you're wearing down the opponent's defense so bad that your offense is your offense is breaking down their defensive.
yeah,
So it's
Pete,
like
what
I don't
about you?
know.
What you think about?
This is the best I think we've seen Josh Allen.
Yeah,
Like,
I can agree.
he's been good before, but this is like some other level right now. Um, and look, he's doing this. They got rid of their number one. Now you just brought up his receivers. They got rid of Diggs, and he's playing better.
Mm-hmm.
Shakir is there. James Cook is there. They're having great years, but he's what makes it go. Again, this is the best I've seen, and yeah, it's like a lot of other players too with the playoffs. Yeah, this is great. You're doing it in the regular season. What are you gonna do in the playoffs? He's definitely one of those guys that we got to look at in the playoffs. But right now, he's playing lights out. 6 touchdowns in a game last week against the
Yeah,
Rams.
three
Yep.
rushing and 3 passing. Yep.
That shit is
Six
insane
total,
to
yeah.
me, man. That's Madden shit right there, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their team, every team has flaws, but there's nothing that he doesn't have to worry about the bullshit if they have a failed drive and he gets back to the sideline anymore. He's the guy. There's no wide receiver who's kind of giving him a side look because he missed them on a route, nothing like that. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen because they're going to have to go to Kansas City because that loss last week. So even though they got the tiebreaker, they gotta tie them. They gotta hope that Kansas City loses 2 games. But who knows what's gonna happen in the playoffs? But right now, they look just as good as anybody, and I would give them just as good a shot as anybody else.
I think so. Yeah, I agree. This is the best we've seen him. I think he actually is locking up that MVP vote. We know they're gonna give it to a quarterback. The only way I see Saquon getting it is if he beat old boy Dickerson's record.
Well, just a point on that. I think Saquon being a running back hurts him in this situation.
Yeah.
It definitely hurts him. And the fact that this guy, if Josh Allen wasn't having this great year and Saquon was doing what he's doing, I would give him more of a chance. But because
Yeah.
Josh Allen the last 2 weeks had 10 touchdowns, that kind of, and then Saquon was quiet on Sunday. I think that kind of set him apart. I think he
Yeah.
ran away with
I
it the
think,
last 2
yeah.
weeks.
I think if there was a bigger separation, then yeah, you could probably go for Saquon. But I want to get. I'm saying, and like you said, off rip, we always say they're gonna give it to a quarterback, which is fucked up. But when you look at it right now and you lead into the postseason, that motherfucking Josh Allen, bro. But I will say this: this is the sad part about being this great. There's two sides of the football, and we all know in the playoffs your
Yeah.
defense could lose the game. So I don't want to. I want to rephrase what I said because it's not Josh Allen that we're saying, oh, he gets in the playoffs and he fucks up, because you can have a great game, but once again, just as well we praise the quarterback and give him the MVP. You already know any L is still going to go on the quarterback because we're going to say, oh, he lost. Well, technically, he didn't lose because the defense could blow the fucking game. But I, I understand why they give the quarterback the praise now, because even when shit hit the fan, even if it ain't the quarterback's fault, what they say, well,
Yeah.
shit, he went and he ain't win, but it ain't about a he, because it's two sides of the football.
But one more thing. For this year, right? You look at Saquon, you look at Josh Allen. If you take Saquon off the Eagles, let's say Saquon misses a week, Eagles still gonna be all right? They're still gonna be good.
I mean, yeah, we saw.
If
Yeah.
you take Josh Allen out, Buffalo
No,
doesn't look the same. And it's
no.
not just and that could be any year, but especially this year because Saquon has been so good. But Josh Allen's been that much better. And again, like we just said, he don't have that supporting cast that the Eagles have.
Yeah.
So if you take Josh Allen out,
Yeah.
it's a wrap.
Yeah, no, he for week one showed you that it's on me because Arizona was up on them heavy.
Yep.
And he took it and said, you know what? I'm gonna win this game. And he ran in for a touchdown. He started wilding out. I do agree. In the last 3 weeks, he ran away with it. Because remember that 1 week before that, he caught a touchdown, threw for a
Yep. You're
touchdown,
right.
and ran
You're
a
right.
touchdown in. First time ever. Then the
Mm-hmm.
following week does 3 touchdown throwing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, and then this time 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
His numbers alone. Now, I will say a person that they don't speak of because they're not winning.
Lamar.
No.
Burrow.
My bad.
Joe Burrow's
Joe?
having a better number wise.
Exactly. You said that last week, Frank. When you look at his fucking numbers, it's sad
Yeah.
because that other side of the football, the defense just,
Bro.
bro, getting dog walk, and my man out here working a 9 to 5, getting $15 an hour. It's just
But
like, damn, dog.
I'm gonna say something that Pete said. Jamar Chase takes some of that away too, right? Because Jamar Chase is having a hell of a year, might be the 5th Triple Crown winner. And there's nobody close to him in the numbers. That's the crazy thing about it. So all they gotta do is keep doing what they're doing, and Burrow's gonna have an MVP year with a losing season,
Yeah.
and Jamar Chase gonna be a Triple Crown winner, and they ain't go nowhere. Because when Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown, I think the Rams made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's like, it's one of those things when you look at it, but not to take away from Allen what he's doing. Keep it back to the topic. Allen, I think, ran away with it. I think because it's what you said, Pete, and then I feel like that's what it should be. Most valuable player. What is without that player? Who are we? Right? If you look at there was a stretch with the Steelers a season ago where T.J. Watt was out, and they couldn't win a game without T.J.
Yeah.
Watt in there. And I said, bro, that's a defensive player, and your offense can't even put enough points to support. And it's like, that's to me that matters. When you're the piece of a cog of a machine and you can't, it doesn't work without you, that shows your worth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Look at before I know you're gonna transition over, but look at the 3 candidates, right? Barkley, Lamar, and Josh Allen.
Hmm?
Who does Josh Allen have on his offense?
Yeah.
That's elite.
I think we make that the case all the time, that he's doing this shit with nobody.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you look at Lamar got Derrick Henry in the backfield. And then
Got
you got
Zay.
in the Eagles, you
Yeah.
could pick 3 other dudes besides Barkley, So
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with definitely. And one thing that's helped Josh out this year, he's minimized his turnovers.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He got 5,
I think
and
he
then
got
Lamar
5.
got 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he got 5, but I don't know how many fumbles he got. That's what I'm going off intos, but one thing Brady said about, I guess him and Brady had a conversation in the offseason, and Brady had told him, like, look, man, stop trying to win it with the one throw.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to dink and dunk your way down the field, then you do that. Stop doing the turnovers. You get more chances. You keep your defense off the field. Let them rest. You keep their offense off the field. Don't give the game away. And I think he's doing that well this year. Um, I was going to talk about the lines a little bit. Um, it's disappointing, man.
Yeah.
It's disappointing because it's a team that really in the entirety of their franchise never really had a lot of success.
Mm-hmm.
Finally having it. Golf is playing great too. His numbers aren't bad either.
Yeah.
He threw for 494 and 5 touchdowns with no picks, bro.
Crazy.
With no picks. That's crazy in a game. And because of injuries, man, they might not even go far. Even though they get the number 1 seed, they might not go far.
Yeah.
Because you get a team like the Eagles running well, go in there, could show them up. You get the Vikings on a good day, could show them up. You get the Rams to play. Now, I think the knock on the lines, not besides the injury, is the coaching too.
Mm-hmm.
He does crazy shit. So, Pete, what's your take on the lines as
Yo,
far as?
he drives me crazy, yo.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell drives me fucking insane. Like, yo, onside kick with 12 minutes left in the game, my man. Like, what are you doing?
Bro.
But the it's crazy. Yeah, like you said, is disappointing because they were rolling. I even picked them this week. Remember we spoke about it
Yeah,
last week. I thought they were going to beat Buffalo, and Buffalo got out to such a head start. It was 14-0, and they were rolling. They couldn't stop them. I don't even think they stopped them once. Um, but Detroit, it's crazy when they show the graphic of injuries and it's 2 columns. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just one row of names, it's 2 rows of names that the guys are on injury reserve. But this may be it. Like I said in the chat, I think they lost their superpowers, man. Like everybody's
Yeah.
injured in the league, but when you start losing your depth, that's when that shit really, that's when it starts to hurt. Now Gibbs is gonna be full-time back. Can he handle full-time, the full-time duties,
yeah.
They're gonna they tied with Minnesota now. Last game of the year
Yep.
is Minnesota. That's going to be for the division if they don't slip up against anybody else. So look, the Giants. It happens to the Giants because their season is shit, so nobody gives a fuck. But Detroit being the 1 seed, they were like the favorite, and now there's mad question marks all over them. So it's not looking too good because what made them that I don't even know how they're gonna look this week in Chicago. The next 2 games they got are outdoors,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then they play it and then one is in Chicago, so it's gonna be freezing.
Gonna be 0
And then
degrees out
they
there.
they play Minnesota last game of the year for the division, most likely.
It's all conference games with 2 divisional games. That's what's
Mm-hmm.
the crazy thing about it. James, what about you, man? What's your take on it?
Yeah, like we just said, man, it's unfortunate because I think we talked about last year going into the postseason when they lost in the postseason. The coach said, "Hey, that's our style of play. We take chances, we're dangerous, we gamble, but you gotta ask yourself this: is the gamble worth the? There's times where you can gamble in a game because you got some cushion or that your defense is on point and playing well. But when you taking chances that cost you the game, then you didn't have to, that's when you start questioning, like, okay, yeah, this style of play is not beneficial. Because they literally they blew it away last year, and that was their year last year. They had the momentum. They dumbass play calls cost them the game. And you can get on a press conference and put it on your shoulder and say it's on me, but you don't come back into another season and do that same shit, especially when you got injuries like you do. When you don't have the depth to make up or come back from a blown lead or when you get behind. So it's unfortunate because, like you said, that city, man, the momentum that they had and the togetherness that brings when you got a football club that's playing like that and they ain't played well in so long, and now you wanna, you know, you don't want to play the right way. You want to just take all these chances and gamble. And now you about to gamble your season away. Because listen, man, one injury can change the aspect of a football game, but multiple injuries with terrible coaching choices eliminates you from contention, bro. Like, man, it's like you said, week after week, we watching it like, damn, bro. No, come on, man.
It's like like I've said, and I took the quote from Belichick: the players win the games, the coaches cost it. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And we've seen with him, it cost him the championship game last year to go to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
This year, now with all these injuries, you really got to play smart. You can't play stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Um, what else we had up here? So, TJ Watt is hurt, man. Ankle. I don't know if he's out, but he's out. We talked about the Chiefs, and I'm bringing this up because the Chiefs Mahomes got hurt against the Browns game. His ankle that's been
Yep.
he re-injured it or injured it more. Do you think the Chiefs should let him sit out this next week? Because the following week on a short, they got 3 games in short, like in 11 days.
Mm-hmm.
But you got the Steelers coming to town, or you got, let me see, hold on. They got the Texans this week in Texas. No, in
Arrowhead.
in Arrowhead. So that's
Mm-hmm.
outside. I don't know how the Texans gonna play in that cold, but 4 days later, they in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I think that defense matches up good with their offensive line. So, Jimmy, you let him rest, or you start him and take a chance he gets hurt.
I'm gonna say let him rest because if there's one person you cannot win a postseason game without, it's Mahomes. So listen, man, the crazy thing about this shit, man. It sounds like the classic recipe for Kansas City to look like, oh shit, they pulled it out they fucking ass again. Like, but I would say rest him, man. Like, you getting to the playoffs with him is better than getting there with a high seed without him. So I would rest him. You got, like you said, 3 games within a 2-week time frame. Just rest him, bro. Let him come back and at least be 80, 90%. Because it's an injury that he already had that he, re-aggravated. So I would rest him a game. And if you get desperate and you need him, obviously put him in. But yeah, my whole intention would be to make sure that he is healthy as possible going into the postseason.
But this is a conference game,
Yeah.
and they can't afford to take losses with Buffalo creeping up and Lamar creeping up. So and the
But
Steelers, it's really Steelers creeping up. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
they got a shot.
but this is the thing. Can you afford to take a loss? What would you rather afford, to take a loss or to have Mahomes out for the rest of the playoff?
Don't ask me. Look, I'm taking a fucking loss, bro. If I'm Andy Reid, I'm walking in and listen. We resting this motherfucker. And we
Oh
gonna
yeah,
play. But like Shady said, he has confidence in Reid and that no matter what quarterback's in there, and it's Wentz, and Wentz can have a moment of flash.
yeah.
With that team and Andy Reid's coaching, he feels that they could still win. So Pete, what would you do? Rest him or start him? And going against the Texans, who's knocking out quarterbacks left and right.
He's gonna play. He practiced today. He's gonna play. I mean, but I would say this: if it went out of hand, let's say the game gets out of hand, whichever way,
Yeah.
take him out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then, like you said, the quick turnaround to the Christmas Day game, which is stupid. Like Thursday, Saturday, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, and then at the end of the year, Saturday. That's when you should play football games. This Wednesday shit,
Yeah.
this Friday shit overseas is just two games on Mondays is too much. But anyway, um, I'd let him look. He's a vet. I'd let him call it. Like
Mm.
you don't want to hurt the team, so you got to be honest with me. Can you play? Don't do this tough hero shit because you can make shit worse. So if you can't play, I'll trust him. I'll let him make the call.
That's a good call right there.
But if it gets out of hand, let's say they blowing the Texans out, or even vice versa, get out. I'm not gonna have you where these guys know we're gonna pass. They're gonna blitz their asses off, and then they're gonna hurt you even worse. So I would let him make the call. You're a veteran. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I trust you. Let me know what's going on. If he does play and he gets out of hand, take him out.
I agree. I think either way is good. I just think that he always finds a way to pull it out, man. Mahomes had a high
Telling you,
ankle
bro.
sprain and won the fucking Super Bowl, bro, with a high ankle sprain. Like you just
And scrambled on that high ankle sprain.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. You would
Classic
and I
recipe,
thought
bro.
who was that was against the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought the 49ers were gonna put, belt to ass on that motherfucker. Cause I know me. Listen, that's why I probably don't coach and I probably don't play. Because I'm grimy as hell. I'm not gonna hit you at your knee. You
I
know
was
that
just about to say
man?
this shit.
Hey, just dive at the I don't give a damn if I punch you. I'm bringing the third string in. And I'm telling him, hey, your only job is hit his ankle. I don't care what you hit it with. Punch it, his forearm, elbow, no helmet, no grimy helmet shit. But hit him, and that's it. Get him out the game. That's it. That's it. Get him out the game. That's what I would do. But, you know, you got to think everybody else is thinking that way too. Because sometimes when they go to sack them, they go low, when especially when they're running, when
Mm-hmm.
they're grabbing that ankle, and they hold
Mm-hmm.
on to that leg for dear life. Sometimes you pop that joint the wrong way, hey, it might be a dead season for them cats for the rest of the way. But it's football, and it's like he said, he's a pro, he's a vet, he knows what it takes to win. Shady said today that he'll take the needle and get the shot and go out there and play. He's like that's the type of guy he is. He'll worry about the ankle in the off season. Let's just go finish the season and get what we got to get. So I think
Mm.
that's going to be good. I'm excited to see the game. I don't know if the Texans got enough to beat them. They've been struggling. What's his name? CJ Stroud. Things I won't say a sophomore slump, but it is a slump. It's not like last year. And losing Diggs didn't help. But it is what it is. You the Bucks. What's your take on the Bucks? They playing good.
Ooh.
Oh damn.
I go with Jimmy first.
I think they are playing good, man. They one of those, I won't say a sleeper team, but they're a team that you can't underestimate. I mean, I think Baker like number 4 in the league in passing yards, maybe fifth, I think. Like, don't sleep. Like, and we saw this right with Kansas City, where people counted them out and they got to the playoffs and it was like, oh shit. But I think they're playing decent, solid football, and it's one of those teams where if you let your guard down, you're looking at a guy who's top 5 in the league in passing. They might pick your ass apart. You can't sleep. I think they are. I ain't gonna say sleeper team, but they're a team you can't put your guard down on.
Pete.
That was the game I was like impressed with this weekend because Chargers defense is really good. They were on the road
Mm-hmm.
and they put up 40 on them.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Evans like keeps getting younger, put up 50 points in fantasy. It's they're no slouch. They're no slouch. Like he said, I'm not gonna call them a sleeper because they're good. They're legit
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
first place. And they beat the Lions and they beat
Yep.
they beat two of the best teams in the league, and
Mm.
they went toe to toe with Kansas City in Kansas City.
Mhm.
They could have went for the win.
Close
After they
game, yeah.
scored, they gave them the ball and they didn't see it. So the Bucks are legit. I think they're really good. That win this weekend showed me a lot as far as, and like he said, look, Baker's up there.
Yeah.
Baker's up there
He's fourth.
with yeah, Baker's up there, man.
In yards.
The Browns got rid of him.
Yeah.
Carolina got rid of him. Like,
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played at the Rams one game and they let him go.
Yep.
well, he was a free agent. So, and then Matt Stafford was coming back. Stafford was injured, so that's why they let him go because he wanted to start.
Yeah.
Perfect spot for him, man.
Yep.
I actually root for Baker, man.
I do. I root for Baker too. I'm a Baker fan. I hate when I hear people like Shady McCoy, other people try to knock him. Oh, he's on his fourth team. Yo, first off, coaching matters.
Mm-hmm.
The right organization matters. Look at him. Look at Sam Darnold over there with the Vikings. You know what I'm saying?
How many teams was Shady on?
Uh,
4.
it was Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, and he went to the Bucks. 4, yeah.
4. Yeah, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Because he thinks
He's hating.
I'm about to tell you, he doing that for ratings now. He clickbait. That
Yep.
conversation, I hate when they do that, man. They get outside of the game and then talk like they was
the
perfect
only
and-
one that says he was sorry and admits it was Acho. I was never great. I always had to play. I had to at practice. I had to go hard so I could make the team. But you know what it is. I think a lot of these guys forget what it was like. You know what I'm saying? But I give him credit. Today he did kind of stand up for Caleb because they were judging Caleb on his body language
Mm-hmm.
during the game. And Shady was like, he's a rookie. And you can't expect much out of rookies, and he's learning. Tough season for the Bears. Not what we expected, you know what I'm saying? With the offensive line getting better, them getting a Dunze, also having Allen, also having what's the other dude? The Moore.
More.
Then they got
Mhm.
Swift. Swift had a good year with the Eagles. They didn't use him right, but he had a good year there. And they think this guy's gonna come in. What is your opinion on the whole Caleb situation, Pete?
It sucks because they were talking about it today. Oh, on I think it was on ESPN this morning. Jeff Saturday, he's a lineman, so of course he's gonna bring up the offensive line, and he says it doesn't matter what plays you got, what quarterback you got. If you can't block, it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
the Bears can't block. They can't block for this dude to save his life. It
Mhm.
happened in the Super Bowl when the Chiefs played the Bucks. I remember hearing, damn, both their tackles are out, and look what happened. They didn't even score a touchdown.
Nah.
So that offensive line matters, and this dude is calling hike, taking 2, 3 steps back, and he's already got the rush coming at him. So it sucks because everybody thought he was like, like one of these the first overall pick, automatic, he's a lock, Andrew Luck, like that. Look, we thought that about Trevor Lawrence too. Trevor Lawrence
Mhm.
hasn't lived up to it either. So I would give him another shot. I mean, not that they're not going to give him another shot, but I would like to see next year when he has the coaching that he needs because he needs somebody like Cliff Kingsbury. They passed on him. They didn't let him. They didn't sign him as an offensive coordinator. They let him go to Washington. He was under Cliff Kingsbury last year in USC. So you try to keep that.
Connection.
Exactly. Try to keep that going so he doesn't have that big a transition. They had a coach who they thought should have been fired last year. They ended up firing him. They changed the offensive play calling, and it's like you can't expect these dudes to learn this shit in the middle of the year and expect it to click like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's an off season. But hopefully they get it right next year so we could see what he's capable of because he's good, man. I think he's really good.
Mhm.
I think Jimmy, what's yours? Before I say
Yeah, I
my
think like we said, if we put the expectations so high for a player that we haven't seen, in the NFL setting yet, it's kind of hard. But I think he also did a lot of that shit to himself with his demands and what talk just media. Somebody could have been behind a media coaching because that plays a lot into it. Your demeanor and how you react in the media to what they say. Because like you said, I don't think he's having a bad season. We look at the obstacles they have within the organization. Who else would you have had to come over there and thought that they was going to just turn the Bears around or make them like this contender? But this is why I always give Russ Wilson a nod, bro. Your media presence and how you react and respond to negativity says a lot about you as a player and what an organization is willing to do with you and how much they're going to invest in you. So, yeah, he's a rookie. Body language matters, but that young man's got a future. And guess what? Somebody got to get behind him. We always talked about this, having that veteran QB on the sideline, talking to young players. And, hey, look, when they ask you these questions, this is how you respond because it shows that, hey, I'm a rookie, but I do want to get better and I do want to grow. And I'm going to add value to a team beyond based on what I'm doing on the field. So I don't think he's playing bad. It's just one of those situations. Both sides of the ball matter in football. And the quarterback's going to take the heat. And I know he's a rookie, but he's going to take the heat because the expectation was him being the number one overall pick and coming there playing well. And when it don't happen, guess what? They got to find that person to point the finger at.
mm-hmm.
And to the naked eye, you're going to say Caleb Williams. But nah, in reality, we know that offensive line is trash. They don't have consistency in the coaching like that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like these things matter, and they're not gonna get the blame. Guess who's gonna get it? The guy who's the number one overall pick. What they like to say in the NBA, a bust. Like, nah, man, dude out here, he playing solid football. The W's ain't being produced.
Yeah, I think the got it for some people is his body language. I think he took a hit. He was like leaned over on the bench. They point out one time he got taken down and he took too long to get back up, and that's what
It
Eberflus
hurt.
had to use a timeout.
Yeah,
That shit hurt.
exactly. Yo, this dude's in pain, yo.
Um, I think it becomes criticism, and I think that, like you said, bro,
Yeah.
because of all the hype he put around himself and the league put around him. Let's be honest,
Oh yeah.
the league did it, and he fed off of it. It was all a media hype. It was all orchestrated. Not for nothing. Look at Travis Hunter and in Colorado,
Yeah.
and Prime and all that stuff. There's names. You're not talking college football in the upcoming draft
Yeah.
without talking about Travis Hunter. You know what I'm saying? So and Shador. So the name comes with it. But I do feel like the team got to get better. The organization's been trashed for a while now.
Yeah.
They've never had a 4,000-yard passer. Uh, they,
Sheesh.
they're trying to live off the hype of a strong defense, but your defense ain't even that strong. So it's like, what you gonna do? Um, the hold on, I moved my screen a little bit and threw me off, man. So that's pretty much it for what I have on that stuff. The Vikings beat them. They look good too. Um, I guess we could talk about Sam Darnold at the end of the year, right? Because I feel like he rejuvenated his career.
Yeah.
He's he can leave at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna bring who's the quarterback that they drafted that got hurt?
McCarthy.
Yeah, McCarthy's probably gonna
Oh
start
yeah, yeah,
when he
yeah.
comes back. So um Mahomes hurt, TJ Watt hurt, Pickens was practicing today. Uh let's talk about the games upcoming, unless y'all got something else y'all want to talk about before we go that route. You got anything, Pete?
No, that should be the game of the week. The Ravens and the Steelers. That's for
Yeah.
first place.
Division, yep.
So let's talk about it then, right? Because Thursday we got Broncos at Chargers. That's going to be a good game. Because they're both in the hunt, right, for
Definitely.
a wild
Wild
card.
card.
So that's going to be
Mm-hmm.
good. It's Broncos in LA. The Chargers are favored by 3, which is a field goal. I don't know. I think the problem that I have with the Chargers, man, and maybe I put too much on Herbert, but it's like they come up short, man. Like it's like, but then again, who do they have? Besides Lad McConkey on offense, their defense I thought would be better this year, and because last year the defense was getting up 36 points a game, while the offense was putting up 35.
It has been better, but that's
Yeah,
why what the Bucks did to them on Sunday was even that more
Was
impressive
yeah.
because the defense has been better this year. But 40 in your own building is crazy, yo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. I think that's a good implication, and I think Broncos could probably pull that out. And be honest with you, because I feel like their offense is definitely clicking a lot more than the offense for the Chargers. What's your take on it, Jimmy? Broncos, Chargers?
Yeah, I think Broncos gonna take it, man. As you get into the deep end of the season, and teams scrapping and fighting for position, and you coming off you coming off a crazy loss. I don't know, bro. The momentum, and we talked about this before. Momentum going to the postseason can make or break a team, bro. And they're professionals at the end of the day. They lost. They had close games, but you can't use "I ain't got nobody" as an excuse because that's where legends made at, man.
Yeah,
When you know what I'm saying? You find ways that in those tough games to who gonna step up, who gonna want it more. Because it kind of motivates some players when it's like, oh shit, like, bro, we can be it if we choose to be. But that fucking ass whipping from Tampa Bay, man, like I don't know, bro. And now you're going into week 16, 17 with the head down, like damn, we just got mud rolled out this motherfucker. I don't know. We'll see, man. I think Denver's gonna get them. I think that coming off a loss like that and then playing a tough team where both are fighting for position is not your favorite. But I got Denver, man.
Pete.
Denver is on a roll right now, but I'm a little skeptical picking Denver because I think it's in LA, right? If
Get
it's
it?
in LA,
It is.
yeah, I'm not saying I put money on the Chargers, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Chargers won because it's a short week and they're
Mhm.
at home. Traveling is on that short week is always a factor. But I think that
Mhm.
shows how if Denver does pull it off, that shows them. I think that shows that they're for real. They're
Yeah.
able to,
Yeah.
travel, not get as much practice as as they're used to getting. And they pull off a win, and the Chargers are not bad. They're in the playoffs too. They're in the
Hmm.
playoff one too, so that's a big game for them. They pull that off.
Yeah, it could set them up right.
Yep.
Texans and on Saturday we got Texans and Chiefs first at 1 o'clock on Peacock and NBC. Chiefs are favored by 3 at home. I think that can go either way with a Mahomes that's hobbled. I think in this game, the Chiefs defense is probably going to have to show up a lot more. But I don't know. Maybe Texas inexperience can cost them the game a little bit in these moments. What's your take, Pete?
Texans aren't what they were last year.
No.
They're not. And the thing is, and you know that he lost Diggs. All right. Diggs wasn't there last year, and he was lighting everybody up.
Yeah.
He got to upgrade at running back with Mixon. Mixon is one of the best running backs in the league right now. So this is, to me, this is on CJ Stroud, man. I believe this is a sophomore slump. He's regressed a little bit, and it's not because of lack of weapons. Because when he was, I know Mixon has missed time, and Nico Collins has missed time, and now Diggs is out, but he's had them at certain times, at least one of them. So and again, if you're great, you're supposed to elevate whoever. Tank Dell, that's what I got. I got Schultz as the tight end. I gotta elevate them. If I can't do it, then you can't be in that top tier quarterback, regardless of what you did last year. So let's see what he does. I don't see it happening this game because going to Arrowhead, I don't know about that, but
And it's cold too. They play in
yeah,
a
and they're used to playing indoors. So yeah, I don't think it's happening this week.
Pete.
I mean James.
I mean James. My bad. Yeah, James.
It's all good. Yeah. I think Kansas City pulled it out. This is one of them games where, like we said, we know Mahomes is he's playing, but he's a little injured. But it's where coaching matters. And when you got a motherfucker across you like Big Boy over there that knows the game and knows points of emphasis to attack, clock management, I think they just have that formula and a recipe that they don't have to beat you with points. They can beat you on the clock. They can beat you with the short game, tiring your defense out. It's like this shit gets scientific at it to a certain point. And I think with a young quarterback across the way, they're gonna find a way to just outcoach him. So I don't even think they're gonna exert too much energy in this game and still pull a W out based on coaching and strategy, bro.
It's like you said, man. It's scientific. It's chess, not checkers. And Andy Reid already's preparing. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. One thing that Mahomes has done that's made him better over the years is that he has learned how to take whatever the defense is giving him. And like you said, tie the defense out. I'm going to go short. They got Pacheco back. Hollywood Brown has been practicing. So, you know what I'm saying? He's back in the facility. So, I mean, at any given time, you could have DeAndre Hopkins, the other dude, who's the rookie, that Xavier Worthy, right? Yep. And Hollywood
Brown
on the field, and then that's 2 speedsters, and you leave Hopkins then you got Kelsey you got to account for still, even though his ass is old, but he can still get it. And that Noah Gray guy, he's nice too. So, I mean, I'm gonna go Chiefs on this one, honestly. Now, the game that I think is important on Saturday is Steelers at Ravens. And James, I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm picking the Ravens because I feel Lamar need to prove some shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If the Steelers go into Baltimore and whoop y'all, Lamar need to he need to reevaluate himself. I'm gonna let you go first. Your team is favored by 6 points in this. 6.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, a lot.
Should take.
I think Ravens definitely gonna get them this weekend, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Ravens fan, because I know how inconsistent we've been, but I think it's to the point where you let it all hang out. Pause. You got to go out there and not play safe football, and I think we did it a few games, and we just played too safe. Like go, don't limit your offense based on what you think the defense has. Like we did that shit with the Browns. Like, bro, go out there and be that 5 touchdown throwing quarterback and running. Like we see Lamar get limit himself in the run game a couple games. I'm like, bro, why are we doing this? So I think this is a statement game, pretty much going out there saying, hey, the only people who can really truly beat us is us. Like, and the losses that we took this year, it's quite evident. Like we're limiting ourselves. Yeah, I mean, you had the game with Tucker missed 3 field goals. You could blame, you could put that and say, hey, we should have won that game, but guess what? The reason we lost that game is because the turnovers that we had put them in crazy field position anyway. So I say if you punt the ball or if you hit those field goals, they're working with a longer field anyway, and we would have won. But that's the mindset you gotta have. Like, I'm not limiting myself. I'm not playing safe. Let Derrick Henry do his thing. Run the ball. Don't be limited to him. We got to open up the offense, man. And like you said, sometimes our offense can be our defense. Get down the field and don't give them a short field to work with. But yeah, I gotta go Ravens because I gotta feel like the pressure's on you. You can't come into this game hesitant and playing safe. So I'm gonna go Ravens this week.
Pete?
Of course, Ravens. This is the get back. This is the get back game because I think they were that was a statement game for the Steelers when they played them the first time. They stopped Lamar from tying it with the 2-point conversion. So this is the get back game for the Ravens. And I know Lamar has struggled against the Steelers, but this right now is super important because they could basically clinch the division if they win. If the Steelers win, they clinch the division. They swept the series. They have a game. They have 2 games above on them, so that means they'd have like 4 games on them. So they basically clinched the division if they were to win. But yeah, the Ravens off the bye they got back on track last week against the Giants, and now this is the game that was like the scrimmage game before the real game because, like I said, this is for the division, and this is to put them back up there like in the 3rd seed in the conference.
And it's in Baltimore.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's in their home. So this is everything's set up for them to take this and try to get the division back.
I think the Steelers got some games on this second half of the season because they were playing complementary football. Special teams was doing their part. Defense always does their part. And the offense, Russell was playing well. I think the Ravens need to win this. You have to. You have to win this. Lamar needs to get out of this. I can't beat the Steelers. If Lamar is great like we say he is, he has to show up in this game. That's been my knock on Lamar and his losses in these games is that he doesn't show up. I say Lamar has probably one of the strongest arms in the NFL. And yes, you want to prove you can throw the ball, but bro, let's be honest. You have a gift. You don't see Josh Allen stop and running the ball just to appease somebody. Josh is going to run the ball. He's going to throw that ball. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to do whatever it's going to take to win that game. Lamar needs to do that too.
Yep.
And also, Derrick Henry needs to show up in this game. Because that's why they brought you there, bro. You a big back to hurt the line. And I feel like, they don't run it as much. He gets stopped, and it's like, let's go to Justice Hill. No. The Steelers are going to play up front. Beat that line down. Keep running that rock and let the chips fall. By the 4th quarter, it's cold outside.
Yep.
People ain't going to – it's a 4:30 p.m. game, so by the time we at halftime, ready 6:30, people ain't trying to hear that shit. It's cold. They're not trying to get it. So I think Ravens need to go, and they're favored by 6 on this one. 6 points.
Oh, yeah.
Lions and Bears, I don't see that as a competition. Bears, the Lions are favored by 6.5, but it's a divisional game. Browns at Bengals, that's a game I think has a lot of implications at 1 o'clock because Bengals need to keep winning, and Browns know how to upset somebody. Pete, your take on that game?
Bengals, I think they're going to start beating, they lost 2 to the Ravens that they were in those games, So those are 2, think about it. Like I said, I sent that on the chat, what would be everybody's record if those 1 possession games were flipped?
Yeah.
And the Bengals are they're a victim of that because they're in these games, they're in a lot of these games and they just not, look, I think the kicker missed a field goal that would have won the game in one of the Ravens games. So this is I think I'd be shocked if and Jameis isn't even playing. It's the backup. It's the 3rd string a quarterback. So this is Bengals all the way.
Yeah.
James?
Yeah, Bengals. It's just it is what it is, bro. And like you said, with that offensive power that you can, it's gonna be
excuse me.
Joe Burrow gonna do his thing, bro. Like you can't expect, and they don't. There's no way James is gonna. And this dude, averages a pick six a game, or like, yeah, I think it's clear cut Bengals. Now, yeah, I'm with Pete. I'm be shocked if they lose it. I just think it's set up for them to just blow these boys out.
Another 1 o'clock game that's good. Eagles at Commanders divisional game. I think
Ooh.
they got Eagles favored by 3.5 points in Washington. I don't know. That's a game that I feel
Ooh.
could go either way. It's a divisional game. Both teams are playing well. Commanders just beat the Saints uh, in New Orleans, and I think the momentum is there. But I'm gonna stick with Eagles because I think Eagles understand the assignment. They got too much to lose right now. They can't afford to lose, especially a conference and divisional game. So, uh, Pete, yeah, is your division. So what you take? What you take?
I think they got the division pretty much wrapped up. I'm not saying that they're going to take their foot off the gas, but the Eagles, I think it's not like they're worrying about the Commanders taking. Yeah, they're not worried about the Commanders taking the division from them. But it's this, like you said, this one can go. I think this. I agree. This one can go either way. I
Mhm.
think.
Well, I mean, my bad. I misspoke. Not the division. They're in competition for number one seed. It's a conference game and a divisional game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I didn't think you.
Yeah.
I didn't. I wasn't going that way with it. I just looking at. I'm looking at the standings right now. Like they're not going to catch them for the division. Philly still got something to play for, but I think Washington does too. This is a statement game for them. If they could beat Philly, they got a win streak. If they won 10 in a row. They could stop that streak. That do a lot for them for their confidence because they look like they're going to make the playoffs as well.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
And they'll need that confidence boost going into the playoffs because they're still young. They got a rookie quarterback, so this would do a lot for his confidence and the overall team confidence if they could take down Philly. I agree with you though. This can go either way. I
Yeah.
3 point them being only 3 point favorites, I think says a lot.
Yeah.
Baltimore 6 point favorites. That
Hmm.
I think that shows a lot how people are viewing the game. Same thing here. Not saying Philly's gonna lose. If Philly does win, they'll win it like by one possession. But
Hmm.
you know, look, Washington is for real as well, man. So either way, coin flip.
Jimmy?
Yeah, I think you took the words out of my mouth, Pete, man. Uh, Being favored by only 3.5 against the Commanders, that's a lot of respect for that team over there. Like, hey, look, man. So I think the Commanders need to look at that like, hey, 3 points, bro. That's a field goal.
Yeah.
If we go out here and play our game, like, and that's just based off the favorite being based off their performances just on a normal day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Philly, hey, I want, I'm gonna take a gamble. I'm gonna say, you know what? I think Commanders gonna get them, dog. I think, I think the opportunity to knock off or just beat them going into the end of the postseason. I mean, the end of the regular season, got to give you an extra little bit of adrenaline boost in the locker room. And I think they've been playing some good football. Yeah, was our expectation of the Commanders to be great? No, but I think where they at right now, they like shit. If we 3 points, if they only favor by three against us, we can beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And
They have
I'm gonna go with the Commanders.
Commanders got Eagles, then Falcons, and then they're in Dallas. So
Ooh,
Eagles and Falcons are going to be at home, and then they go to Dallas for the last game of the season.
if they can win these last three,
Yeah.
shit.
Um, I'm looking, man. Honestly, Jaguars and Raiders, nobody cares. Oh, they got Vikings and Seahawks. That's a conference game, not divisional. They got Vikings got to go to Seattle. They're favored by 3 points in Seattle. I don't see the Vikings losing that.
No,
Um, they got something to play for too. You know what I'm saying? So,
Definitely.
Jimmy, what you got?
Vikings, easy.
Pete?
I don't know. Well, Geno Smith got hurt, so if he don't play, it's definitely Vikings. But I would look. Seattle's like, on and off this
Mm-hmm.
year. Like, I didn't expect them to get, I expected a better game this Sunday that just passed.
Mm.
So, but they lost to the Giants, at home.
Yeah.
So I don't know what team is gonna show up. So, but Minnesota needs to go and handle business right now. They're tied with Philly and Detroit. They need to handle business because I think they play Green Bay next week. So they got to keep, and then that last game is against Detroit, they got to keep the momentum going. They got to go up there and not fuck around and take care of these cats, especially if they're vulnerable at home. Like I said, they lost to the Giants. They Green Bay handled them pretty well last Sunday. So Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going Vikings too. And I think that Bucks at Cowboys, that should be a good, like you said, scrimmage game for the Bucks. Go down there, do what they got to do. And then Monday night you got Saints at Packers. So that's what I got for that. I mean, really, Packers are favored by 13 and a half points in Lambeau.
Green Bay, yeah.
Yeah. Another indoor team, dome team, South team going to the cold, the frozen tundra. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers ain't gonna want to get out the bus. But look, man, I think it was a good episode. Um, any closing remarks? I'm gonna start with Jimmy first. Anything you want to say, man?
Hey man, once again, pleasure to be blessed enough to sit here, talk sports, and then in a positive way, and then share our thoughts. I wish June ass was on here, but we all got our own priorities. But I'm glad that we're able to still get on it and have an episode.
Yeah, yeah. Pete?
Nah, nothing for me, man. Like always good to get on, to log on and talk sports with you guys, man. It's
Yeah.
always look forward to it, man.
Yeah, me too, man. It's consistently Tuesday. I tell my people, look, 7:30, I'm recording, leave me alone. But yeah, man, a good week, good time. A lot of football coming up, a lot of games that have some serious implications. I think that it's good that we're not discussing who got the number one seed right now. We're still talking about who can get the number one seed right now. In
Hmm.
the past, we've seen teams lock it up by a certain week and they're just cruising. A lot of good football left. A lot of people out there fighting for something in the league to get to another spot. So I look forward to talking about it on Tuesday. Tuesday would be Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, we'll talk about it after. But yeah, man, tune in, share, like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Let us know we could do better, what you guys want to hear about more. This is Offsides, and we'll see each other next week. Until then, peace.